We're just days away from Supergirl hitting theaters worldwide, and I've seen the first 20 minutes of the movie, sat through new featurettes, and read every early review so you don't have to scroll through spoilers to find out if it's actually good. Join us over the next hour for Superman Homepage Live. Here we go. Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. In this show, we're going to be covering the Supergirl world premiere. We're going to be talking about the fact that I've seen the first 20 minutes of the film, some of the featurettes going on, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff happening, comic book stuff. I want to hear Michael's take on John Byrne's comments. We've got so much more to talk about tonight, but joining me as always are my two good friends and co-hosts, Michael Bailey. Hello, Michael.
Hey.
And Mark Lax. Hello, Mark.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are we both tonight?
Doing good. It's hot.
All right.
It's not hot here. But we're not here to talk about the weather. We are here to talk about many different things about the Superman and Supergirl worlds. And before we get to all those, we're going to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way. We want to firstly and foremostly thank our Superman homepage champions, the people who keep this show free for everyone: Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Tina Murray, and Rick and Tanya Schutzau. Thank you so much for your financial support of the show. We really appreciate you guys being the sponsors of the show. And if you'd like to join those folks and have your name read out at the beginning and end of every Superman Homepage Live broadcast, then all you have to do is click the join button below on YouTube. There are different levels of membership with different levels of perks, or you can go to patreon.com/Superman Homepage. Also, tonight, if we do have time, we can sometimes take live callers, and Michael is going to introduce those instructions to you right now.
Well, it's really simple. All you have to do is go to supermanhomepage.com/live and press the call now button, or scan the QR code with your smart device. If you are using your laptop or desktop to watch the show and you've got an external speaker going on to hear our dulcet tones, I don't blame you. Sometimes having us in your head might, lead to... I will say listening with headphones does make our subliminal messages go through better, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how to do your thing. But if you do get on the show and you are using an external speaker, please mute that because we are on a bit of a delay. If you're using your smartphone, please don't use your speakerphone because that just makes a weird crackling noise.
Yes, and if you're a little bit shy and don't want to get on the phone tonight, or we just don't have time because we've got a full docket, then feel free to participate in the comments. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram tonight. So on any of those platforms while you're watching, you can type a comment, ask a question. Michael, Mark, and I can see what you're saying and react to those comments or questions as the show goes along. But if you'd like your comment or question featured on the screen during the show, that is a YouTube feature. It's called the Super Chat. All you do is click the dollar symbol there on your screen. A slider will appear. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate. We'll feature your comment or question live on the screen as the show goes along tonight. There's also super stickers and super thanks if you want to give those a try on YouTube. All right, well, let's get into tonight's topics. And first and foremost, it's Supergirl. The world premiere took place tonight, but before we get to the world premiere and discuss all that, the cast and crew were in London to start the week, where Millie Alcock and who else was there? Jason Momoa, Matthias Schoenaerts, and Eve Ridley. They were all on hand at the London event that took place. It was like a fan first screening or a preview screening of events and of the movie, and they all were on the blue carpet.
I guess they couldn't have a red carpet. I'm kind of confused by the blue carpet.
I don't know. Good question.
Because it seems like you could take those photos and just put anything you want under them, since it's kind of a blue screen.
Right. So. Yes. Yeah. You could make them, in space or on clouds. But it looks like they had a lot of
blue in that poster.
Yeah, true.
A lot of blue in the poster. Well. Maybe they wanted to match it. I don't know.
Maybe. And Jason Momoa was there with his wife, who is rumored to have a role in. We think she's in a role in the Man of Tomorrow film. A lot of speculation whether she's Wonder Woman, whether she's Matrix. We've all discussed that many, many times over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it looks like fans had a great time there in London for that event, the preview screening of the new movie. But tonight, just earlier this evening, New York was the place to be for the world premiere of Supergirl in Brooklyn. I've got somebody in the comments says that they were there tonight. Alcor says, I went to the worldwide premiere in New York City tonight and loved it. The live stream took about an hour on the YouTube and across other platforms, but I was watching it via YouTube myself. And it was interesting that it was good to see the Man of Tomorrow cast were there. They, David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan and Nicholas Hoult were all there in attendance, along with obviously James Gunn and Peter Safran. And Tom King was also there, the author of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And the artist, Bill Queets-Everly, was also there. So everybody who was anybody was there for the Supergirl movie, and obviously from Man of Tomorrow leading after that. It was hosted by a young lady who did her best on the carpet to interview some of the cast members and some of the people who were there in attendance. And it looks like everybody had a great time. I've got a few clips. I know neither of you guys were available to watch it, but here's a few clips from the world premiere here's the interview with Millie Alcock, a little bit of the interview anyway.
Well, guys, I am joined right now with the Supergirl, Millie. Welcome to your world premiere.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, being in your presence means everything.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. I mean, being here in New York, having the fans coming to see the movie, the film, how do you feel about just everything overall?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's really surreal. I can't believe it's finally happening. And it's going to be out in the world, and I'm really excited for everyone to go see it.
So yeah, there's just a little bit of the interview. Again, obviously for copyright reasons, we can't play too much more of that. But if you want to check out the complete 1 hour live stream, it is available on our website. If you've missed it, it's clearly marked there on our website. But the event was held at the Brooklyn Academy of Music in New York City. And a lot of fans were in attendance, getting autographs, photos signed by the cast and crew as they came through on the red carpet. And yeah, it was an interesting event.
Yeah, you've been to world premieres before. How do you think it shaped up compared to your other ones?
Yeah, it's interesting because the ones that I've been at were Man of Steel and Batman v Superman in New York, and they didn't have anything like this. They didn't have a live streaming event where there was, someone filming interviews to go live, but there obviously was the red carpet where the cast members would come down and they'd go through this storm of people from the media, press, who were allocated spots along the rope to be able to conduct interviews across the barrier there to talk to some of the cast. And I remember with Batman v Superman, I wasn't where I was supposed to be, and I was in the middle of People magazine and some other massive, and I was where New York Times was supposed to be, but the New York Times person never showed up, so I just stayed there in that spot. I got skipped over for actual one-on-one interviews, but I was able to kind of shoehorn my way into the other People's magazine interviews. I remember the lady from People magazine was like, I was filling her in on who everybody was, because they print out a sheet of photos of what characters they're playing, so that they can identify them when they come up. And obviously these people don't know who everybody is because they're just being sent by their publication to cover the event without really knowing the ins and outs. And the People magazine lady was like, "Oh, thank God you're standing next to me, because I've got no idea who these people are." Yet she was getting the interviews and I was getting bypassed because I was nobody compared to them.
That tracks.
Yeah.
At least you got a good story out of it.
Yeah, no, it was and then at the end, see, the funny thing was, individually they were coming down, and then at the end it was Henry Cavill was the last one. And because they were running out of time, the movie had to, the world premiere screening had to take place. They just said, listen, we don't have time for individuals, so we're just going to bunch all you guys here together with one interview. So I actually got to ask Henry a question, who was really the one person that I was waiting to see, and the main guy as far as I was concerned. So I got to pipe up with a question in amongst that scrum of media and press personalities. So that was quite interesting, and I think he kind of recognized me, or recognized my accent anyway, as being different from everybody else, and it was like, oh, hello. So that was quite fun.
Should have worn your rugby jersey. That would have.
Yeah, well, that might have stood out a bit more. But let's have a look at a bit more of the interviews that took place at the world premiere. This is with the Man of Tomorrow cast.
Well, hello everybody. I am back, but this time with the Superman cast. The Clark Kent. We got David, we got Rachel, and we got Nicholas. I have some questions for you guys. I mean, obviously, you guys are here at the Supergirl world premiere. Millie was at the end of Superman. How do you feel knowing that now Supergirl has her own story?
Well, frankly, it's nice to have the pressure off and on somebody else. And Millie's the right person to take it on.
Rachel?
Exactly what he said. No, it's so nice to be able to expand the details.
There's just a little bit of that part of the interview there. They're not very forthcoming with a lot of information, and but they do go on and talk a little bit more. But I imagine they're probably a little bit exhausted flying in and around, coming in for these kinds of things and getting asked a million questions. But for the live stream, you think they'd be a bit more forthcoming with their answers. But again, the questions, the way they were asked, kind of left a little bit to be desired as far as I was concerned.
She kind of seemed confused she was on camera in the two clips that you played, and I'm not saying that to be mean. It just kind of, sorry, it's kind of like back during the pandemic when suddenly everybody was like doing interviews from their home, and and like all these like multi-million-dollar report, like on-air personalities had like a blue pallor over their face. Because they couldn't get that right. I'm like, shouldn't you be? So maybe I'm a little like expecting more than there should be. But it just seemed like she seemed surprised every time the camera came back to her.
Yeah, I don't imagine. I mean, like you said, off screen, I think she's just an influencer. I don't know who she is, and I don't know how much media training she's had or how much preparation she was given in regards to doing this, and how, it might have been the first time she's kind of conducted these types of live interviews. And so that would be pretty daunting. If I remember the guys who did it last year for the Superman premiere, Soups and the other guy who did it, were, kind of, it's off the cuff. You're trying to, fly by the seat of your pants, and it's probably a little bit daunting when it's not your regular job. So, good luck to them. I'm happy for them that they got that front and center job, and, maybe it goes on to bigger and better things for them. But, I just thought it was a little bit unprofessional for the type of event that it was, going worldwide across so many different media platforms. And I know live events can be tricky with technical issues and things like that, but you never know what people are going to say either. So you've just got to try to wing it.
And to be fair to the three of them, I'm sure they answered a lot of questions leading up to this person as well. And it's sort of like, this again,
Yeah. And
I get it.
But, when you're on the main one, the actual camera that's going worldwide, you think you'd just kind of prep up a little bit more for it. But look, they signed a lot of signed a lot of autographs, took a lot of photos on the red carpet on the way through, and it looked like it was a great time had by all. And the full report about the world premiere event live screening thing is up on our website. You can read about that while watching it as well. And I imagine they're probably sitting in the cinema and the theater, or probably finished up right about now, having watched the world premiere. And good luck to those who were there in attendance. I know a couple of people that we're friends with, and run other Superman sites and the Super Museum. Morgan is there. So I wish them all the best, and I'm glad that they were able to attend, and I hope they have an amazing time or had an amazing time. They're probably at the after party if they got invited to that, hanging out with the cast and crew now too. So I hope everyone who is in attendance or was in attendance had a great time, and I'm not jealous at all.
Yeah, it's that Friends meme of Rachel. It's just like, I'm very happy for you and not jealous at all, which is been me like for the past 2 years anyways. Morgan was getting a lot of really good pictures, though. I was following her Facebook posts, and it was kind of really cool to kind of live vicariously through that.
Yeah, indeed. Celeste asking, did we get our movie tickets yet for Supergirl? I will be going to a fan first screening here tomorrow night. And as I said, I have seen the first 20 minutes of the film at an event that took place on the weekend at Supanova Convention here in Sydney, which I'll talk about shortly. Have either of you guys bought your tickets yet?
No, because I don't know when we're going to go get to see it. It'll probably be on a Scrubber Tuesday, just because of how things are. It's just getting weekends off is very difficult right now. So
No, I can imagine.
Yeah, I have, and I'm not sure when. I'm sure I won't get to see the movie this week. That's for sure. But hopefully next week sometime.
Well, lots of people have seen the film. Some of the critics' reactions have come through, and for the most part, they've all been very glowing. Geeks of Color said the best blockbuster of the summer. Brittany Murphy said that Millie Alcock and Eve Ridley are the heart of the film. Chloe Williams from Pop Culture Chloe said it's the perfect summer movie. DCU Brief, who I follow on social media, called it a bold, fresh and lively film. And there were just Nerds of Color, the must-watch movie of the summer again. So lots of great reviews coming in from people who've seen it early. And they put up a little promo of some of the comments that have been published on social media as well. Let me give you that little video.
Your powers are going to start kicking in now.
We haven't been formally introduced.
That's very impressive. Supergirl, rated PG-13, June 26th.
So there's just a little promo they had of some of the quotes from some of those interviews. But yeah, it seems to be tracking well as far as some of the comments are concerned. I know some of those people are probably, doing that because they want to continue to receive invites to these events and early screenings. So I imagine they're probably more glowing than not for a reason.
Yeah, it's
catch
reviews
two
are
two
tricky.
situation.
Yeah, reviews are tricky because what are you writing those for? Ostensibly, you're writing them to tell people should you go see it or not, or at least that's how movie reviews used to be. But now with everybody wanting access and stuff, there's probably a little bit of, like you said, pressure to give more of a positive review, unless you just don't care. I'm just more annoyed at the people that are running articles that it's going to bomb and that it's tracking to like be the worst film of the summer and stuff like that. I'm like, can we at least wait for like the first weekend? Because the thing is that you've got the opening weekend, but then you've got a holiday weekend like right after that, where you have a chance to get a really good bump on your second week. And while Supergirl is not as known as other characters, it's not like, except for some randos on the internet saying that the new female Superman Supergirl, which I was just like, that's a weird way to say that. It's getting a lot of marketing, and there's ads and trailers and such. So I just don't understand the people that are just pulling for something to fail.
Yeah, what's their ulterior motive?
Personality? Yeah.
I don't get it either.
I don't understand these people. First of all, as far as these reviews are concerned, I mean, like you said, there's pressure to, but also the bigger guys are going to have their say. And a lot of people seem to follow what some of the bigger people, like
critics,
you said, People Magazine.
Yeah, exactly. The ones who don't really care whether they get invited to the next one because they know they'll always get invited
Yeah,
to the next
exactly. But, these people who just want it to fail or just, just for what reason? Why are they? Because they're Snyder fans? No offense. I'm not starting anything. I'm just saying, why do these people want this to fail? I mean, whether you might say, look, it's not my thing. I don't want to go see the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, but why do you want it? Why are you saying such things and you haven't even seen the movie,
Yeah, exactly. Mind the Gap saying it's sandwiched between a Toy Story movie and a Minions movie, so that maybe should have been more thought out. I don't think that you can always kind of predict what the other studios are going to be doing and when they're going to be releasing films. So it's not like, they've made a film, they've got to get it out at a particular time, and it's usually, like you said, Michael, around a holiday of some sort that they want to try to cash in on the most eyes that they'll possibly get, and they can't always, predict what other studios are going to be releasing at that time, and maybe they feel that their movie is going to be a completely different audience to Toy Story and Minions, and to be fair, it should be.
But the thing about that is that suggests that movies coming out week after week after week isn't how summer works.
That's true.
I like, some summers are better than others. Sometimes you do have like a summer of 1989 where it was just like hit after hit after hit coming out, week after week after week. And, like this summer's pretty packed. You've got Toy Story 5, which is apparently making everybody cry. From that seems to be the most common review of that. The Minions movie, which my wife's looking forward to because we saw the trailer for that when we went to see Masters of the Universe. And you've got the Spider-Man film at the end of the month. I mean, it's just, I think when you have big movies coming out all like within weeks of each other, that's just going to feed into wanting people to go see it. Like, 1 week you're going to go see Toy Story, then you're going to go see Supergirl, then you're going to go see Minions. It creates events every week. So that doesn't necessarily mean, like, if Toy Story 5, Supergirl, and Minions were all coming out on the same weekend, I would see like, okay, that's really dumb. like why would you do that? But here, like, Toy Story got its big, Supergirl's going to get her big thing, Minions is going to get their thing. Also, to be fair, those are sequels, and this is a brand new film. So I don't know if that makes people more likely to go see a sequel or not, but it's like the 5th Toy Story film.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised. It's like they keep making these things. I'm not. God bless them, but I was just like, Toy Story 5?
Yeah.
What other stories do we have to tell?
Well, now they're going the tech
Three was supposed to be it.
The tech avenue.
3 was the end. That was it.
Yeah.
Now we have 5.
Yeah. Now it's all about.
But don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I love the Toy Story franchise. It's just, I'm just saying, sometimes these things just don't end.
No, well, if they can make a buck out of it, why would they? So they continue to make them, and we'll wait and see how it all stacks up. But there's also been a couple of little featurettes that have been put out this past week leading into the final week of the movie's promotion. There was this little 1 week to go one that was done, obviously, a couple of days ago.
The character Supergirl often gets pigeonholed to being this milquetoast reflection of Superman.
I think she challenges that throughout this film.
Hi, just wanted to touch base about when you think you might be coming back.
It was exciting to have Supergirl as not your usual hero.
It's not too late to not be a jerk.
So there you go. There's just a little bit of that 1 week to go promo that had James Gunn and Millie Alcock doing some interviews and discussions about the film.
I just have a question. I love James Gunn to death. I think he's got a really good head for marketing. I've enjoyed his films. What version of Supergirl do you specifically want to point to as being a milquetoast version of Superman? And the reason why I ask that question is not because I'm trying to be a jerk or I'm trying to say, like trying to challenge him or anything, because that's silly because he's the head of a studio and I'm not. But I think there's a better way to promote your new version of a character without comparing it to old. Well, are you comparing it to the Helen Slater film? Are you comparing it to Melissa
Benoist? What he's
Benoist?
saying is that, like you were saying about those people who called Supergirl a Superman girl, like that she's just Superman in a skirt, like that there's no differentiation between her. It's just putting a female version of Superman on the screen, and that's not what we've seen at all in any take, but that is sometimes a perception that is out there, you know, from people who don't know the character. And so, you know, I don't think he's pointing at a particular version of the character, but maybe a public perception of what the character is.
Okay, and that's fair. It's just, I don't know. It seemed like a weird way to phrase it. Like I get that you're doing a different version of the character from a very popular graphic novel, which is fine. Like I said, I wasn't expecting them to like re-up Melissa Benoist and have her come and do a brand new version of that. Nor was I expecting them to have Helen, you know, like tap Helen Slater to play the character again. That would be kind of interesting. But my point is that the way he phrased it, I think, was where I was a little confused. And again, I'm taking a 3-second quote from a 20-second promo to something. I am really open to the fact that I'm overthinking this.
Yeah, I think Cartoony Kel in the comments on Instagram says, I think Gunn was talking about people's erroneous perception of the character, not actually a version of the character that exists.
Okay. It's just...
Yeah. No, fair enough.
I'm just grumpy.
There was also a IMAX promo. It was like a featurette, if you like. It's since been removed from their X account, Twitter account, but I have a little bit of it here for you, as I do, of course.
Supergirl is a spectacle, and visually, it's such a delight.
Very early on, we started talking about IMAX because the scale of these battles and these fight sequences is massive.
For me, it's no question. IMAX is the best place for it. With the immersiveness of the image.
So there's just a bit of that. And again, you can, well, you can't watch it now because it's been removed, but I'm sure it will rear its head somewhere again. The IMAX featurette on filming the film for IMAX. Craig Gillespie is also Australian. I wasn't aware of that for a while, but I'm guessing he's lived in the States for a while because he kind of has... doesn't have the Australian accent that Millie does, but and she's been living in London for a little bit too. So it's one of those accents, an Australian accent that it can get lost. Like I've seen a lot of, like Mel Gibson, Australian, but does not have an Australian accent anymore because he's been living in the US for so long. He's kind of adapted to the local lingo. But yeah, it's great to see two Aussies doing really well.
I'm trying to think of a single interview I've ever seen of Mel Gibson over the past 40 some odd years where he did not have a straight up American accent.
Yeah.
That's
since Mad Max.
Huh. Now, to be fair though, Hugh Jackman.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking.
Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just saying I've heard, you know, you can maybe not more recently because he's been, but during the Lethal Weapon movies and even going a little forward,
you think
I can hear a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, Hugh Jackman, I think, still lives a fair bit in Australia. I think he's here quite a bit. So
yeah,
it's when you
his
take
interviews
off and
he's
live somewhere
always
else.
got like the very thick accent, which is actually it's kind of funny to me specifically. And I know this doesn't have anything to do with Superman or Supergirl, but there was an episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and there was a one-shot X-Men cartoon called Pride of the X-Men, where Wolverine inexplicably in both of those had an Australian accent. I have no idea why. He's Canadian, but apparently, you know. So it was just really ironic to me that when they cast the first big screen Wolverine, it's an Aussie, but he doesn't have his accent. So
there you go. All right. There was Odeon also did a little featurette, which is available to watch. Here's a little bit of that.
Supergirl is a space fantasy. We are building the DC universe, not the DC planet.
James explained this to me. Each movie is like its own graphic novel.
Let's go. We jump from planet to planet.
So there's a bit of that again, you can watch that one in full on our website. And there was also another one about comic to screen, making Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, translating it from the comic book to the screen. Here's a little bit of that.
When I was a teenager, I saw Supergirl comics in a store. It was like love for the first sight. Hi, I'm Bill Xavili. I am the artist for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
The reason we chose Woman of Tomorrow is because she is not the character she seems from the outside.
She's not Superman, and she's definitely not Clark Kent.
So Bilks Everly is the way she pronounces her name. But I was interested to see her on the red carpet and doing a lot of different interviews as well about her artwork. And that's always been, a great thing that I think they've done with this movie is that they've included Tom King, Bilks Everly, the director, the screenwriter, Anna. So they've really gone above and beyond to include all the people who have been creative inputs to this film.
I think to a certain extent, one of the things, and I don't know if this is on purpose, but I think one of the reasons they're doing that is it's kind of the opposite of how Marvel handles things.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at like the promotion of like Marvel films, they usually talk to the stars, they talk to the director, they talk to Kevin Feige and stuff like that. And there's lip service to the comics, but it's always like movie first. Whereas James Gunn coming into DC Studios, like from the jump, was promoting the comics and trying to bring as much of that into it as possible. And I like that as kind of a contrast. Not that Marvel's terrible.
No.
I just like that he does that.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm glad they got them all. They got them all out there. I mean, getting, Tom King and all that, and also getting the whole cast of, Superman, Man of Tomorrow, or the main cast, whatever, out there. I mean, I think that's a good show that they did that.
Indeed. All right. Before we move on to talk about the film itself and what I was involved with this past weekend, Spotify are putting crypto front and center with the app. So crypto will be hidden throughout the Spotify app, and you've got to find clues to how you find him. These are some of the clues: Supergirl's official tracks, Superman's official tracks, Supergirl's theme song, and Superman theme song. Things you should be looking for. And you put the clues together and type in the clues into the search bar to unlock a Supergirl surprise. So that's what you need to do if you're on Spotify. So that's something that you can be part of. But also, Fortnite, as they did with Superman, Supergirl and Krypto will once again be available in Fortnite later this week. So make sure you look out for that. And there is a little video up on our website from Fortnite with Millie Alcock having a look and at the preview of her being a Fortnite skin character, whatever they are, and she is pleasantly surprised and a little bit, shocked at, I mean, it must be really weird to see yourself as an action figure and a video game character and all those kinds of things. So that's a cute little video that's up on our website as well. Well, I mean, Michael, you've seen yourself in a comic book.
The what? Yes.
You've been in a comic book.
Was complete surprise. I still can't believe that it's actually happening. It actually happened, but
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, that's all I got. I thought I had a thought, but then it just disappeared from my head.
It happens. There was a really. you guys wouldn't have seen this unless you were on the website today, but we've got a morning breakfast show on TV called Sunrise, and they caught up, well, one of their reporters from London caught up with Millie Alcock and had this little surprise for her. Have a look.
I have a message from someone back home. Well, a couple of people. Can I play this to you? So here are two people who wanted to say hello to you from home.
Hey Millie, I'm Susan Green, Principal, Newtown High School of the Performing Arts.
And you might remember me, it's Mr. Kavanagh, and I'm still here.
Oh my
I'm
God,
trying
he's
to
still
run the drama
there.
department. It's so wonderful to be able to have this opportunity to reach out and congratulate you on your very own superhero film. Here we are in the Studio Theatre, which you might remember from times in the past. But we just wanted to make sure that we congratulated you, and we're so thrilled that you are...
Yeah, so there's just a little bit of that video of her obviously catching up with some old teachers that she had when she was at school here, doing drama classes and what have you. So I think that's really, really cute.
Aww.
It's nice. That was really nice.
What's somebody's saying you're not reading the chat's complaint. Yeah, I mean, from time to time we'll look across and we'll see anything that we need to point out. So, I'm sorry, we've got a lot of things to get through tonight. So I apologize if you feel like we're ignoring some of our live viewers. We are not. We're just trying to power through to make sure we deliver the best show that we can. And if we see anything that you're commenting on, then feel free to say them, and we'll try to refer to them as the show continues. But I just want to power through so much of the things that are happening this week, and we'll react to any comments you might have that pertain to what we're talking about. This past weekend, Supanova convention, comic and gaming convention took place here in Sydney, and they had a preview screening of the first 20 minutes of the Supergirl film. Sadly, it was scheduled for the same time slot and same day as the Q&A panel taking place with Alex Garfin and Michael Bishop, who were the twin sons in seasons 3 and 4 of Superman and Lois. So you, like Superman, you can't be at two places at the same time. And sadly, I chose one over the other, and I went to the Supergirl screening instead. I put up a video of some of the interviews that I conducted with some of the Supergirl cosplayers that were around about the convention. Had lots of people come up, have a chat. People recognized me from the Oz Comic Con panel that I did last year. And I handed out some Superman homepage business cards to people with shirts or costumes on that were roaming around the floor, and it was a really cool experience to be there. I did get to see the first 20 minutes of Supergirl, and again, I'll be seeing the film in full tomorrow night here in Australia at IMAX in Sydney for the fan first screening that got invited to. But so far, what I've seen, I'm really impressed. It's a completely different film to Superman. And but obviously has touchstones to that movie, and the action sequences. Millie is great. I saw a bit of Jason Momoa as Lobo. He got a big cheer when he first appeared on the screen. I don't think it's exactly the first 20 minutes of the movie, because I've seen scenes that fit a little bit earlier in the movie online that weren't in the first 20 minutes of what I saw, but I guess they wanted to get to the Lobo part to make sure that they showed people him on the big screen who might not have been aware or just were waiting to see Jason Momoa as Lobo. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of the film tomorrow night, or the full film tomorrow night.
And I'm sure you're going to jump right on and just spoil everything. You're just going to sit there and
I will
reveal
not.
all of the deep... Yeah.
I won't. I'll give you a spoiler.
Give everything away. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'll give a spoiler-free review soon after, and I'll then, within a couple of days, I'll do a spoiler-filled review with plenty of spoiler notice if you're trying to remain spoiler-free and you haven't seen the film yet. We'll obviously get to talk about it next Monday night, hopefully. You guys may or may not have seen it by then, but we will be talking about it next Monday night, as most people around the world will hopefully have seen it then. Can you share tea from the first 20 minutes? If you mean a tease, there's a tease from the first 20 minutes of the film. Nothing else really stands out as being stuff that you wouldn't have been prepared for from the promos and the things that you've seen online. The bus sequence is with the Scalarian Raiders is really cool. That is a great action sequence, and there's a real heroic moment in that where Supergirl is in trouble, and then something happens that you kind of get that let's do it kind of moment. So more from that next week. Mr. Matlock, which is John Patrick Van Pelt, he's asking questions about my adventures with Superman. We'll get to that when we get a chance soon. So just hold those questions for a little bit, John. All right, Waymo. There are obviously those cars that roam around the city picking you up without a driver. Don't have them here in Australia yet, but have you guys been in a Waymo or seen them driving around?
I have not, but a couple weeks ago, a bunch of them just kept like descending on this one cul-de-sac in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And just driving around in a circle. No idea why, but that's the first time I ever heard that name. So that's why I was familiar with what you were talking about. Okay.
So they've got a car fleet that are now decked out in the Supergirl promotional skins. And there's a little promo video that goes up, that is up on our website with those young ladies as different costumes of Supergirl, saying that they're tired, they want to, wish they could fly, but they want to obviously get around, and they catch a Waymo. So there is that. Oh, sorry, I forgot to show you some of the photos from Supanova. Here was the screen that they put up for the first look footage event. There was the Hall 4 was the Supergirl Theatre, and then there was these life-size statues, which I was able to take a photo with of Supergirl, Krypto, and Lobo, and they handed out a free comic book, and you got to scan a QR code to try to get tickets for tomorrow's fan first screening, which I scanned anyway, but I'm already being there. And then there was this massive wall art as well. That's pretty cool to look at. So that was some of the stuff at Supanova Sydney.
Looks like fun. I'm glad you got to do that.
Yeah, they are fun experiences. Lastly, on the Supergirl side of things, a couple of pop-up stores around the world. There is, where am I here? I'll move that one off. There is in Japan a pop-up store. Sorry, not Japan. This one is in Malaysia, the Central Atrium SM Mall of Asia, until June 26 has a pop-up store that you can, where is it? There it is. That's the Mall of Asia that you can attend. They've got photo ops, movie-inspired toys, interactive challenges, and freebies. And then in Japan, they've got a pop-up store that's opening in Shibuya in Japan, and there's plenty of things to do and see there. There's been plenty of interviews taking place this weekend. This past week. SFX magazine has an article and cover on Supergirl. GQ in Australia also has an article, GQ Hype. And Movie Maker magazine has Millie Alcock and Craig Gillespie on the cover and an interview there as well. Insomnia Cookies have a couple of inspired creations that are inspired by the Supergirl movie. There is a Red Velvet Revenge and a Lemon Solar Punch cookie that you'll be able to pick up at Insomnia Cookies Bakeries. I don't know if you guys have any of those near you.
Never heard of it, but they look good. I'll say that.
There you go. Okay. So Insomnia Cookies. And all right, that's the Supergirl side of things. But because Supergirl is imminent, this coming, tonight it's screened for the world premiere. Screenings tomorrow here in Australia, there and everywhere. Superman is doing gangbusters on streaming platforms once again this past week, ahead of the release of Supergirl. According to tracking data from June 21st from Flix Patrol, Superman is actively appearing on top 10 charts across several major streaming services. On Google, that's Play and Rentals. The film placed 7th this week in markets like Brazil, Indonesia, Ireland, Cyprus, Latvia, in the UK, while on Amazon Prime, Superman sat at 8th place on June 20th. In the US specifically, it placed 9th overall and 3rd among movies yesterday or the day before, depending on where you are. And the Apple TV store, it appeared in the top 10 charts across countries like Canada, Hungary, Israel, Jordan, Malaysia, New Zealand, Oman, Poland, and many, many more, including the UK. So Supergirl is helping Superman this time around.
Yep.
Which is great news.
I'm always glad to hear that. I really am.
And I think the fact that, like on HBO Max, I've seen on mine, when I sign in this week's picks, it's got Superman as one of the, select items to select as an idea, as a suggestion. So I'm guessing that helps. It's not just box office, it's streaming, Mind the Gap reminds us. So that's very much true. All right, let's move on to the television side of things. A new episode of My Adventures with Superman aired this past week. It was titled Mobile Suit Toyman. I still have not seen episodes 1 or 2 of season 3 yet. Mark, I imagine you have seen this second episode already.
Mm-hmm. I have, and I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed the first episode a little more. But I did enjoy this. You get nice reveal, and it's it's a lot of fun. I'll say that it's a lot of it's a very fast, as we know, it's very fast.
Sorry, go ahead.
What's happening?
I'm trying to mute the. Where is it? Movie there. Mute that. There we go. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying it's just a very quick. Show. Everything is boom, 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 boom. There's no slowing down, which is good. It was enjoyable. There's a couple of new villains and an old villain and a big reveal, and it was fun.
Okay, so some of the questions that Mr. Matlock, which is John Patrick Van Pelt in the comments, does Kara Supergirl have 2 different personalities this season? And does Kara and Jimmy have a special relationship going on? Well, I think, yes, they do have a relationship. Everybody knows that.
Actually, they don't. That's the thing. Yeah. Jimmy, in fact, it's one of the points of this episode is that Jimmy believes that she can do better, and that she hasn't experienced life on Earth yet, so he's not committed. It's him being coy. So there's a whole sequence at the convention. If you love conventions,
saw it, Michael. Sorry, I didn't even ask you if you'd seen it.
No, it's okay. No, I figured I could jump in on this so that we're not just having Mark and then me. No, Supergirl doesn't have 2 different personalities. There is something, if you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to ruin it
go ahead.
for people. But there's something going on when she says she has to talk to her father in the first episode of the season. It's not her father, or it's somebody that she might call father, but it's not Zor-El.
Yes.
So she's really trying to figure out her own place in this world. Cat Grant has a part in that in this episode as well, where Cat Grant's obnoxious on this show, by the way. Least favorite
very
much
ever.
But it's what I liked about this episode is it was one of the funniest representations of the Toyman ever. There's a really if you like anime, it's called Mobile Suit Toyman. There is a full anime suit up of this robot at one point. It's hilarious. But also, aside from that, there's something to do with Lois and Toyman, which is also hysterical. They also take shots at both Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen and Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane in the episode. So there's just Mark's right that there's a lot going on, but in terms of the relationship, it's a will they, won't they, and now Jimmy's jealous. She doesn't really have 2 different personalities, though. I think she's just trying to figure herself out.
Okay. What kind of Kryptonian lab did they enter behind an old door, or was that the fortress?
That, I think what he's talking about is from the first episode, when they're investigating not Cadmus, as I'm going to call it, because I forget. I think it was Project Caliban.
Okay,
but it
yeah.
felt very much like Cadmus. They go into this one area of the lab, and it's like there's Kryptonian structures and stuff like that that they're kind of confused about.
Okay. What was on that little TV Kara was watching, and who was that person on it? Asks John.
That was Dr. Otto Bender. Is that
Okay.
Yeah.
So the creator of the Bizarro.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
That was Otto Bender.
Who's wonderful, by the way.
Yeah, I love that. Love it.
The watch that Jimmy was wearing looks familiar. Didn't Jimmy have a watch like that in Superman the Animated Series? He's had a Superman watch in many
Yeah,
different...
Signal Watch is a thing. Yeah, that was
yeah.
a big thing in the Silver and Bronze Age. They played with it a little bit in the post-crisis era, but it wasn't a thing during that era.
Okay, were those real issues of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen that they're not actual comic book covers, are they?
I did not. They're very much in that 60s style, though, because Jimmy makes himself out to be like the hero of the book, and Lois is the villain.
Okay.
So it's I think it's a cheeky way of just kind of poking fun at those, which I found very amusing.
Okay, the villain with the whip, is that someone that we've seen in comic books before? Is it Lashina or anybody like that from... Or is it just a completely new character?
No, the Whip is a Western character originally in the comics. Right. And as Mind the Gap said, there was a female version of the Whip that appeared in Grant Morrison's Seven Soldiers series. But that's them pulling a name and putting it on a completely different character.
Yeah.
This time with Kryptonite.
Yeah, and the whole Hank Henshaw working for Lex Luthor, John saying he finds it weird that he's doing that before Superman dies. We don't know that Superman's going to die. Forget everything you know about Hank Henshaw from the comic books or from the death of Superman. This is Hank Henshaw, the My Adventures with Superman version of Hank Henshaw, the My Adventures with Superman version of Superboy. It's completely different to anything you've seen before. Do not try to connect it with any of the things that you've previously seen. This show is doing its own thing.
As my wife pointed out, leading to a hysterical back and forth between the two of us, John Jones was Hank Henshaw in the first couple episodes of Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right.
They're
doing their own thing.
They're doing their own thing, which is what they need to do. I don't think we need another death of Superman at this point.
No, exactly. All right, so the next episode of My Adventures with Superman will be this weekend. Looking forward to it. We don't have a promo trailer for it yet, but you can. We are reviewing the episodes. Tony Parker is doing it for the Superman homepage. And I'm continuing on the podcast when I get time to record it. So you can continue to watch and enjoy My Adventures with Superman along with the Superman homepage. All right, last weekend, not this weekend that just went, the weekend before, Metropolis, Illinois was the place for the Superman celebration. And the Q&A panels for all four of the special guests are now up on our website and on our YouTube channel. Tim Daly, there's a Q&A panel for him. That is up on the website. There's also Alex Garfin, who made the quick trip from Metropolis, Illinois to Sydney to come back for Supernova, or to come here for Supernova, I should say. He did a Q&A panel over there as well. Neva Howell, who plays Mark Kent in Superman and will be returning for Man of Tomorrow. She did a Q&A panel. She accidentally called Christopher Reeves Steve Reeves in the Q&A, and she was mortified and reached out to a couple of us to say, can you please adjust that or make note of that? And so I wanted to make sure that Steve Reeves was a muscle man of the time, and back in the day, and I can understand her making that error. Katie Lotz was also there, and a Q&A panel for her. She was in DC Legends of Tomorrow, is also up on our website and on our YouTube channel, so you can check those all out. And thank you to Sassy, who sent us those videos and recorded them for us, for sending them and allowing us to use them. All right.
Yeah, it looked like it was a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, it did. Michael, I need to get your take on John Byrne's comments. He did an interview where he told... who was it that he did it with? The Hollywood Reporter. He was saying that his run on Superman was the worst experience of his career.
So this isn't new.
No.
It was presented as such, and I was actually kind of. I understand that that's how we would frame it because we're a Superman website, but it seemed like other people were picking that out of him trying to promote his new book. John Byrne is a complicated figure. He has been a complicated figure his entire career, and if you look at from when he left Superman through the decades, it's gone from like a simple disagreement to like he was lied to right and left. And so I remember there was a Sci-Fi Channel video that did a deep dive with him on it, and at the end he said he regretted it. It doesn't matter. It's still out there. It still provided the foundation for the post-crisis. It's unfortunate that he feels that way, but at the same time, it's also his experiences and it's how he feels about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just...
No, I was just going to say it doesn't nullify the great work that he did. The fact that his experience on it maybe not what he wants to remember or not what wasn't a great experience for him as a creator, but as far as the work itself stands, it's still phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I mean, I saw 15 articles last week because it was the anniversary of the book coming to comic shops. So it was just it's fascinating. It was just like no one was talking about this 20 years ago, and now everybody is talking about it.
I saw a lot of people surprised, like, is that what he looks like now? I mean, the man is 76. He does age. So, like, we don't all, I mean, he looks okay for a 76.
Yeah, I was about to say he's had a beard isn't like for most of his. I've never seen him without a beard, so why would it not be white at this point? I mean, some dudes put the Grecian formula in, but apparently he is not one of them.
No, indeed. The DC solicitations are also up on our website for September, and some interesting books that we can look forward to. I'm not going to go through them here, but Mark, did anything stand out from the solicitations looking forward? I mean, we've got, this whole Superman Kingdom of Zod special that seems to be feeding the stories that are going to be seen in the books starting in September.
Yeah, that looks pretty interesting. I'm interested to see where this goes. I remember the last time we saw Zod, where what his place was at the time. I was thinking that there was sort of a truce. Am I wrong about that?
No, yeah.
Last time we saw, I don't remember, so I don't know what this is going to bring. I mean, look, they've done so much over the last 20-something years. I can't. Well,
I mean, if you recall, Lois got Zod's powers that were siphoned from him and to her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he was powerless, and now that she doesn't have her powers anymore, I'm assuming they've gone back to him, and this is the story that we will see.
Well, that's also, sort of. I think that was kind of the impetus of what this story is probably.
Where it's going. There's also a new Black Label series called Superman the Stranger that was announced, which you can check out on our website as well. But that's pretty much all we have time for tonight's episode of Superman Homepage Live, a jam-packed one. We didn't get time for a break. We didn't get time for the fan favorite segment. We didn't get time for This Week in History. Sorry, Michael. I know you put the work into putting those together. We will get to the fan favorite stuff that you sent in about your favorite, what were they? Favorite designs for Bizarro.
Bizarro.
So we will get to those. But if you haven't sent in your favorite Bizarro design yet, please send that through to info@supermanhomepage.com, and we will definitely get to the fan favorite segment next week because we've also got our monthly segment that we do for the Super Secret Soundbite. So all those segments will be returning next week. But that is it for this week's episode of my Superman Homepage Live. I want you to go out and enjoy the Supergirl movie. I hope you enjoy it. Get out there, see it this week. We'll be talking about it next week. But on behalf of my good friends and co-hosts, Michael Bailey, thank you, Michael.
Oh, pleasure as always.
And thank you, Mark.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We'll be back next Monday night on June 29th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for another edition of Superman Homepage Live. I hope you'll join us then. Until then, I'm Steve Eunice. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com and our Superman Homepage champions, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Tina Murray, Rick and Tanya Schutzau. Thanks for watching. See you next week.